And this is to my friend, because I actually created a number of videos and I was upset. Not specifically at you per se, just at the whole, but the videos are on private. Anyway, I understand that you are a straight shooter, okay? And I respect that and whatnot, but you being a straight shooter doesn't mean you're automatically right about everything. And when it comes to my situation with my mom, I don't think you're right at all. If you think it's wrong that I stay here and not pay rent. Okay? And by you, I mean anyone who feels that way. And we already know, how you know who feels. Just as you, anything like you've indicated to me before, and you're totally right. All these things I do for my mom, I don't do because I'm staying here and not paying rent. Okay, again, it's not the same thing. I'm not living here for free. I'm simply not paying rent. Okay, there's a huge difference. Okay. And you would say, well, you would do those things as a loving daughter anyway. Yes, but it goes both ways. As a loving mother, when she has more than enough money to live off of comfortably, why is she going to take rent money from her disabled daughter? See? So I'm certainly not saying, oh, I deserve to not pay rent because I do all this shit for my mom. I'm saying that the outsider, people who look at it, they're not looking at the deeper picture. They're just saying, oh, well, she's living there and not paying rent, so what? My mother doesn't need the money. My mother doesn't need the money from me. It's not like I have some cushy job and I'm staying here and not paying rent. And that's why my mom even said to me at one point, all she's tried to do is figure out how to get around Auntie, thinking it's just abhorrent that I not pay my mother rent, She's even said, I told her, she even said before, well, there are people that get paid as caretakers. Why can't I pay you, And I'm like, Mom, no, I don't do enough for you to pay me. But her not paying me, that's all that I'm doing. If I stay here, okay, if I stayed here and I pay, towards electricity, because obviously my computer uses way more electricity than, if I pay towards electricity and pay my internet, okay, and I'm already all paying completely 100% all my food, then all I'm doing is living here rent-free, okay? And believe me, she does not give a shit. She'd be happy if I stayed here the rest of my life. And the rest of her life. So it's not that I'm saying, oh, I do all this for my mom, so I deserve to stay here rent-free. It's not like that. This is a situation where I'm on disability, and she has more than enough money to live off of comfortably. Okay. Now, if a stranger took over, could that stranger, be pissed that I'm here and be a total ass and not give her any extra spending money just because I'm here and they feel, yeah, and that would be a different situation. That would be a totally different situation. In which case, the stranger would be being an asshole because we already know she has plenty of money in the bank. See? Could a stranger do that? Yes. Would a stranger do that? Who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying, if it's a situation where she has all that money in the bank from the lawsuit that she won and split with Auntie, and she also gets enough every month to more than live off comfortably, she neither wants nor needs money from her disabled daughter. And she does not look at it as I'm living here and not paying rent. Only ignorant people in the outside world would feel that way. Okay? And again, I told you, I'll take this even further. I would think it would be sick if any, parent who had a significant amount of money, still took rent from their kid. But there are parents that are going to do that simply because, in their eyes, kids shouldn't be living here and not paying rent, period. Living with me and not paying rent. They don't care if the parents don't care if they're really rich. It's the principle of the thing or something. But my mom is not like that. And on top of that, this isn't a situation, like it was with Donald. Apparently when he first moved in with his mom, he, I think, was paying her. He'd been doing it for years and years and years, I guess. But it didn't even change when he got a good job. When he briefly got a good job. Because it was just a set thing where he paid $200 towards the rent. The rent wasn't that much, but it was enough. But and he paid the electric bill, but the electric bill for two people was very, very, very low. Okay? And we're LA, so there's no heat or anything like that. It was in LA. But he didn't buy the food. She bought all the food. Okay? So you know damn well that he's eating, he's eating like $50 worth of food every week. So basically, that was a situation where he wasn't costing her anything, but she's not, making money off of him either. Remember, he was on disability and she was working, a lot. When he first moved in with her, when he got out of college when he was 22. And I guess he had some kind of breakdown or something. It's not like Donald wasn't, Donald's a natural born liar, so we really don't know exactly what happened. I only got his take on it, Whereas with the other way around, he knew exactly what happened with me because I don't lie. You know what I mean? So if I tell him about this or that, about my upbringing and my dad and my this and my abusive alcoholic stepfather and my mom and whatnot, I'm telling him the truth. He's getting the truth. But with him, I have no idea what the real truth was. Who knows? I know some of it. But again, I would extend this type of compassion or whatnot to anybody, not just regarding me and my mom, okay? That if you're a parent and your child's not burdening you, if it's a situation where your child doesn't have much money, you're going to make, and you have plenty of money, you're going to make money off of your child. I'm not talking about the child costing you anything. I'm talking about, if you know what I'm talking about. If the child's there in your extra bedroom, whatnot, and but I'm sure there are a lot of parents, that they don't care. It's the principle of the thing. You're not going to stay here under my roof unless you pay rent. But again, in the thing with Donald and his mom also did all the cleaning, all the cooking, Donald he's an only child like me, but he didn't grow up the way I did and all that, He didn't have a dad around, and then she got involved with some guy that, unfortunately, he was a good guy, because I got that original tape from Donald saying, Donald saw him as a father, but the guy's 2 sons wound up both in jail, one for, like, they were, like, you know, that couldn't have been good for Donald to be around and whatnot. And eventually, she, even though she loved their father, she left because to protect Donald from being around these kids that were just all fucked up really badly. You know, she wanted to protect her son. So that was good anyway. But again, I don't know the real story regarding Donald, but he knows the real story regarding me. You know, he knew the real story regarding me, and with him, who knows? Who the fuck really knows for sure? And the thing is, if I was allowed to stay here, even if I wasn't paying rent, my mom, if she's not paying anything out of pocket, she's actually saving money because she was supposed to. You know, we're pretending all this, if all this court thing didn't happen and whatnot. The plan was, and it was reiterated by Auntie even before my mom got in the hospital recently and whatnot, even when this shit was going down, to, if I was going to live elsewhere so I could have a better place, because it's really hard to just pay $600, you know, to get something decent for $600 total a month, and I can't pay more than that. I need the rest for food, you know, whatnot, and probably and traveling expenses, and just, you know, to live. But my mom was gonna pay $175 a month. See, if I stayed here, she's saving $175 a month. I mean, we're looking at the situation if it went that she was still able to pay that $175 a month for me to move out, whatnot. But I was never going to take it to begin with. See, it's a completely different situation. So it's not me saying, and I know via my friends' emails, it's not me saying, well, you should be helping your mom out anyway, you should be doing that anyway, you're her daughter. Yes, out of love, and I would do all of the little things I do anyway. But out of love, she has the right to not take money from her disabled daughter when she has plenty to live off of, more than enough, and she has the nest egg in the bank, substantial nest egg in the bank. Okay? Doesn't she have a right to not accept, you know, and on the same lines, do I have to feel like I should be paying her rent? Am I supposed to feel guilty because I'm not giving my mother money she doesn't need anyway? I'm certainly not a burden on her. You know? I'm certainly not any kind of financial burden on her, and she loves having me here. So that's what I have to say on that, you know? People who don't see the bigger picture will think, well, you should be paying rent. Why? So my mom can have extra money that she doesn't need? Rather than me being able to save up a little bit of money so maybe I can eventually get out of here, you know? I am saving money, just I'm doing it slowly, you know, because I'm doing the organic, okay? It's not like like I said, it's not like I'm doing drugs and drinking and throwing parties here and you know what I mean, and lying around smoking pot and doing nothing and living with my mom or parents or whatnot, or waiting on my hand, and, you know what I mean? It's a totally different situation. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to heal. And, you know, and I shouldn't have to be made to feel guilty because I'm not paying rent to my mother who doesn't need the money. You know? Then if we take it even further than that, if anything happens to her, it's all supposed to go to me anyway. So why do I have to suffer and pay rent when, you know what I mean? When I just barely have enough to live off of. And yes, all my fucking money goes to food. You want proof? I'll add up my friggin' receipts, because it does. Where else is it going? Just about all my money per month goes to food. But I got hundreds of dollars worth of food out of my storage unit, and I'm not paying on the storage unit, so that helps me, save up a little bit of money. I just hate this society's attitude that's just all about money, One of the things my mom said to me before, again, she doesn't want to do it, but she, and she, we already know Auntie has plenty of money, but Auntie, she makes it, if her kid's living with her, she has her kid pay rent, even though she doesn't need the money. I told you, there's a lot of parents like that. They don't need the money at all, but they're not going to have their kid live with them unless the kid pays rent. As in making money off of the kid. See? Again, even that's a different situation, because this is a different situation with me here, because I do a lot to help out. I do a lot to help out, and I make her life easier than it would be otherwise if she were living here all by herself. And she would be the first to tell you that. Even if her friends in the outside world, you know what they're thinking. They would just be thinking, if they knew, they don't even, she's not going to tell them I'm not paying rent, but they would, what they're thinking. They would just be thinking, oh, she's just living there for mom, because nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, I do a hell of a lot to make my mom's life easier on her. I provide her companionship, of course, but also, again, the healthy meals I make. I do a whole bunch of nice things that she wouldn't otherwise have. Even when I make the shakes or make us my organic cocoa mojo, which is cocoa I bought with medicinal mushrooms in it that Joe loves and told me about. Give natural news, and you know what I mean? And I told you we eat my bean dishes, and that saves her money because they spread out and spread out and spread out. I just took the last of the garbanzo bean spinach one out of the freezer, and we had that last night with, and I'm like, it tastes good, huh, now that we put it away in the freezer for a week, and, cause you eat it and eat and get sick of it, and she's like, yeah. And then I made us a nice cup of cocoa mixture, cocoa with the cocoa mojo. It's C-O-C-O-A and M-O-J-O-A. I think it's actually cocoa. It's not super sweet, but then I mixed it with my organic cocoa that I bought before she even got out of the hospital, but I hadn't opened it until rather recently. And I made us a nice cup of cocoa, and we had our dinner, and then we watched, Pride and Prejudice. So it's not like I'm sitting there saying, oh, I do so much for mom, and I deserve to be paid, and I deserve this. No. It's not like that. No. It's not like that. doesn't need money from me, you know? And technically, even when I first moved in here, she didn't need money from me, in 2012. But again, I had a significant amount of money then. That was a completely different scenario than now. Completely different situation. And I didn't know at the time that, remember, she had been told to lie to me. So she had way more money than I thought she had. She knew that, I did, and that's why when I kept paying for everything, she's like, well, let me pay for this, let me pay for that. Oh, no, Mom. I'm rich compared to you. So I thought, It's not fair when outsiders, judge what they don't understand, But yeah, if I'm made to feel bad or whatnot for not paying my mom money that she clearly, most definitely does not need, especially when it's not her that wants it, and oh yeah, I will just leave. I will bite this hand that bites my face, whatever, because it'll make me sick. It's ridiculous, And it'll make me angry, so. It's not like I have this good job and I'm not, and I'm saving up thousands upon thousands upon, and just living here rent-free. No, it's not like that. I do a lot to make my mom's life a hell of a lot easier. And I don't do it so I can stay here and live rent-free, you know what I mean? But if I'm doing all this stuff out of love, she certainly has a right to, out of love, not take money from her disabled daughter. As in not make money off of me.